Roundup, major news from Nigeria and around the world. Welcome to today's News Roundup, bringing you the top news from Nigeria and across the globe. Let's dive in. Nigeria headlines. Nationwide blackout after 10th grid collapse. Nigerians were left without power on Tuesday as the national grid experienced its 10th collapse this year. Since January, the country has faced repeated outages, with 3 incidents reported within a single week in October. Power disruptions continue to spark public frustration as they impact daily life and the economy. Source: Punch newspaper. End bad governance protesters released to Kaduna, Kano governors yesterday. 114 individuals detained after the August End bad governance protests were released by the federal government to Kaduna and Kano state governors at the presidential villa. This follows their discharge by the Federal High Court in Abuja, bringing some relief to families and supporters who campaigned for their freedom. Source: The Nation newspaper. A win-win relationship, Tinubu addresses ambassadors from France, China, and Denmark. President Bola Tinubu emphasized a win-win diplomatic relationship with France, China, and Denmark. During a ceremony at the State House, he welcomed ambassadors from the 3 nations and urged collaboration to benefit key sectors in Nigeria, including health, education, and infrastructure. Source: The Guardian. FG disburses N55.657 billion to boost MSMEs. The federal government, under President Tinubu, has disbursed over N55 billion to support manufacturers and MSMEs as part of its N200 billion intervention fund. Finance Minister Waleoduan announced the move during a town hall meeting, highlighting its aim to promote job creation and economic growth. Source: Leadership. Dangote Refinery, Pinnacle Oil in clash over petrol quality allegations. A dispute between Dangote Refinery and Pinnacle Oil has raised concerns about petrol quality in Nigeria. Both companies issued statements defending themselves against claims of substandard production, bringing fuel quality and safety issues to the forefront for Nigerian consumers. Source: The Sun newspaper. President Tinubu promotes acting co-AS Olufemi Oloyede to Lieutenant General. In a ceremony at the State House, President Tinubu promoted acting Chief of Army Staff, Olufemi Oloyede, to Lieutenant General. The promotion, announced by Presidential Advisor Bayo Onanuga, honors Oloyede's dedication and service to Nigeria. Source: Business Day newspaper. Global news. Chinese media focuses on U.S. political divisions amid elections. As the United States anticipates election results, Chinese state media is highlighting American political polarization and hinting at potential turmoil. China has historically countered Western criticism of its governance model, and this coverage serves as a subtle commentary on the U.S. democracy. Source: CNN. Trump trade surges as he claims victory. Investors bought dollars, Bitcoin, and stocks, and sold bonds as Donald Trump claimed victory in the U.S. presidential election, and Republicans took control of at least one chamber of Congress. U.S. stock futures hit record highs, the dollar surged, and Treasury yields jumped, while Bitcoin broke $75,000 for the first time, all moves flagged by investors as likely should Trump win over Democrat Kamala Harris. Source: Reuters. South Africa and UK sign new bilateral trade, defence agreements. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy and South African officials met to sign bilateral agreements aimed at strengthening trade and defence partnerships. Lammy reiterated the UK support for Africa's representation on the UN Security Council. Source: Algerian author wins top French literary award. Kamel Daoud, an Algerian author, won the prestigious Goncourt Prize for his novel Houris, which addresses Algeria's violent civil war in the 1990s. The novel focuses on the struggle and resilience of Algerian women amid turmoil, marking a significant recognition of Algerian literature. Source: BBC News. Killers of Ugandan Olympian sentenced to 35 years. A court in Kenya has sentenced 2 men to 35 years each for the murder of Ugandan athlete Benjamin Kiplagat at the end of last year. The Olympic steeplechaser was stabbed to death on New Year's Eve in the town of Eldoret, known as a top training center for athletes. Your actions were cruel to a defenseless person whose life you cut short, Justice Reuben Nyakundi told Peter Usharu Kalumi and David Ikai Lokera during the sentencing hearing in the High Court in Eldoret. Kiplagat's murder shocked people in Kenya, which has seen the killing of a number of other elite athletes in recent years. Source: BBC News. Sport. Arne Slot breaks Jose Mourinho record in Liverpool's thrashing of Bayer Leverkusen. Liverpool manager Arne Slot wrote another page of history in the Reds 4-0 crushing of Bayer Leverkusen in Tuesday's Champions League clash at Anfield. The eagerly awaited tie pitted Jurgen Klopp's successor against the man initially tipped to replace the German on Merseyside, Xabi Alonso, who masterminded Leverkusen's astonishing Bundesliga Invincibles run last season. That's the end of the news roundup for today. Thank you for tuning in to today's news roundup. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join us tomorrow for more headlines from Nigeria and around the world.